Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Hump Day, or wherever you are. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hopefully, you're not joining us in the middle of the night where you are, but if you are, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Dr. Valerie Renee Shepard. I'm joining you from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self Mastery, where we help people step into a higher consciousness through personal mastery, mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. And because our lives bring all kinds of things to our way, self mastery is the vehicle for managing our lives. And since the world is sort of an inside out place, although at times it doesn't look that way to the unlearned observer, it is. And so, what's going on the inside, according to Hermetic principles, according to universal law, what's going on the inside is going to show up on the outside. And the question is, are you creating from a place of conscious awareness? Are you creating from a place of conscious intention? Are you being the person that can have the things that she wants, that he dreams of, that they desire? Are you playing in your life using the right tools? Question. So, hello and welcome. This is all about giving you the tools for you to embody, like practice, walk in the knowledge, walk in the energy. That's called wisdom. So, knowledge on its own is not power, according to me. Power comes from knowledge put into action, embodied practice. That's wisdom. That's really cool. So if you're joining me live, I'll do my best to say hello. Thank you so much. Type in a comment. I'd love to get your feedback. Your feedback is how these topics come up. Today's topic came up a different way, but I love hearing from people how this is supporting them or what's missing, what more that you would like that we could provide from the Hartley Center. If you're watching the replay, if you could do hashtag replay and tell me. I invite you to join my private group here on Facebook. It's called The Bliss Collective. We're a community on a mission to create more peace, love, joy, and freedom on the planet. And we're doing that by starting with ourselves. Like, who am I being right now? Who am I being when I think I'm being me? That's one of my seminal questions that I ask my students and clients and people who participate in the Hartley Center effort and experiences. And then we ripple effect, right? Everywhere you go, you're off gassing. So the idea is to strengthen your ability to off gas at the high vibration, off gas gratitude, off gas harmony, off gas inner peace, off gas alignment, off gas joy, off gas laughter, off gas neutrality, non judgment. Ultimately, off gas unconditional love. That's what we're here for, is how do we love ourselves so we can be exquisite at loving an other. So, I love comments, and especially if you put the teachings into practice, I want to know. So send me a private message, pop something into the comments, and let us know. And about every month now, every 4 to 6 weeks, I run a challenge. It's a free opportunity. It's called Grow in Self-Mastery, Flow into Bliss. Grow in Self-Mastery, Flow into Bliss. Get the connection? The point here is that as you master yourself, you allow yourself to raise your consciousness. Raising your consciousness raises your vibration. And this is the only true and lasting being underscored true and lasting ways to give yourself more happiness, more peace, more joy, more emotional freedom. So this challenge is an opportunity for you to engage in a discovery about where am I in my self-mastery? Where am I? Like, you can't change what you're not even aware of exists. You can't change what you're not willing to look at. You can't change it. You can lament it. You can complain about it. You can actually get into a really beautiful dance, maybe a really ugly dance of self-recrimination and maybe even self-hatred. We're going to talk about that today. So, if you want to learn more about our challenges, or when you want to learn more, the idea here is I'll keep talking about it, and at some point, something's going to pop open in you, and you're going to go, hey, I never heard about that before. I think I should do that. And I'm going to go, yay, hallelujah, happy day, come on in, the water's fine. Okay, so it's tinyurl.com self-mastery challenge. tinyurl.com self-mastery challenge. And it's very easy to be a part. All of you have to do is join and do it. Just come on in and hang out and play with us. Just come on in, hang out, and play with us. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking on my phone so I can see the live, so I can look at comments, but I'm not finding it. So I'm going to let that go. I need a producer. So I want to start with this quote. Today's title for Hump Day Happy Chat number 168, y'all. Applause, sweet applause. Applause, sweet applause. So I don't know how many of you know this, but in my past, and maybe in my future, I'm a real lover of performance art. Like, it's even in my numerology chart. Performance art is a part of me. It's a part of what I'm here to be and do. And I am a member of the Screen Actors Guild, though I'm not performing and right now. And I have done live professional improv comedy with an amazing troupe. Shout out to Improv City. Woo! What a great group of inspiring comedians, actors. And so performance is a part of me. I love it. And I love the applause, although it's interesting. It's like this dichotomy. I love the applause, and then when I get it, I'm a little shy about it, and I sort of, ooh, ugh. And this is what we're going to talk about today. Today's topic is applause, sweet applause. And I love this quote. I saw this quote, and it actually triggered me to do this topic, okay? I'm still learning how to love the parts of me that no one claps for. That's a quote by Rudy Francisco. I'm still learning how to love the parts of me that no one claps for. Now, in that no one, what I heard was including me. I don't clap for parts of me either. I'm still learning how to love the parts of me that no one claps for. Why is this such a beautiful quote for self-mastery? Well, because of the dynamics that can be going on underneath the idea that the parts of me that no one claps for are not even worthy of my love. They don't like it. I don't like it. What do I do with those pieces and parts? And this is why I talk about we're all disintegrating. We've taken pieces and parts of us and we've put them on shelves. And we've said, we don't want to hear from you. So for some people, that's anger. We're not allowed to show our anger. For other people, it's resentment. For other people, it's envy, like green, jealousy, envy. We tell that aspect of us to sit down and shut up. For others of us, it's that drive. I really want it, but I just don't want to do all the work for it. That would be me. I love having the beautiful flowers. I don't like so much being a gardener. So I need a gardener so that I can sit in my garden and love on the magnificence in the flowers around me. Good morning. I see you out there. Thank you so much for being here. Please type in the comments, hashtag I'm here live, and anything you'd like me to comment on. So this idea, I'm still learning how to love the parts of me that no one claps for. Okay, so some basic principles. All love is built on a foundation of self-love. So imagine that if there are pieces of you that are still disenfranchised, they're still disintegrated from the whole, that's a part of you that's not getting your love. It's not evolving with you. It's stuck where it is, wherever that piece got wounded or hurt, or the interpretation was created that piece of them is not acceptable, not lovable. It's still hanging out there. That's a part of you that you've decided isn't worthy of your own appreciation. So imagine that. Feel it more than intellectually connect with it. So psychologically, this external need for approval can be called an external locus of control. So external locus of control is the world acts on me. So when I get someone's approval, that's how I know I'm okay. When I get someone's approval, that's how I know that's the direction to go in. When I get someone's approval, that's when I know what I should do and how I should behave. External locus of control, external need, controlling your life. In its most overdeveloped form, so overdeveloped meaning debilitating, like diagnostically, it's called histrionic personality disorder. There's actually a disorder for it when it goes to way overdeveloped. And in these people, it means that their whole self-esteem is dependent on what other people think about them. People with this disorder are overwhelmed, like they have an overwhelming desire to be noticed. And that can imagine how that can shift their behavior, and that even inappropriate things may be a catalyst to being noticed, to getting approval. We probably all know someone or remember a time when we're like, wow, that person really needs to be seen. And I will tell you, as somebody who has been on stage, who has performed for this sweet applause, yes, I like to be seen. And it's not a disorder to want to be seen. That is a basic need of human beings. It's a basic need. You may have heard of a gentleman by the name of Ralph Nichols, who is considered the father of listening. Like, he's done so much work on listening and the community aspects of listening. He's touted as a major force in our understanding of the complexities of what listening behavior really is. Interesting that that's here. Now, one of his most famous assertions, or that is attributed to him, is that the greatest need, the most basic of all human needs, is to understand and be understood. And others have expanded on that. Psychologists have even said that it's actually humans' basic need is to be seen, heard, and understood. So it's not abnormal to want that. And not everybody who wants that is in the overdeveloped space. However, is it in us overdeveloped to a point of maybe not being a disorder, but being something that isn't serving us? Is it serving you? So what comes up for you when you hear this question about in what ways are you subconsciously or unconsciously caught in this hamster wheel of seeking approval? I mean, it can be buried very deep. And why can it be very deep? Because we have in certain parts of society, kind of created it. How did we do that? Well, think about it. Think about your developmental years. Think about your 0 to 6 years old. What are you doing? You're doing a lot of performance. Early childhood conditioning can be related to performing for something. Some variation of applause, sweet applause. Baby's first steps. Everybody takes pictures. Everyone's applauding. Baby's like, ooh, okay, so when I do this, I'll walk and walk and walk. I get applause. And oops, I fall down, baby. Everyone's like, oh, baby. Oh, do it again. Baby is an energetic being. Baby can hear the difference between applause, sweet applause, and oh, baby knows the difference. I know some of you out there are going, don't put baby in the, nobody puts baby in the corner. Yes, I know. Anyway, so in our early childhood conditioning, we're, as energetic beings, we're getting feedback from around us. When we do certain things, it warrants applause, sweet applause. And that applause may come in the form of a smile, a hug, some expression of love, adoration, approval, belonging. It starts at a very young age. This is not wrong or bad. I'm not saying that shouldn't happen. But where are you now with it? Are you, as your adult self, still performing for approval? And is it serving you? Not good, not bad, not right, not wrong. Is it serving you in your life where you are right now with what you intend to do and be and have and why? That's the question. So in those circumstances where you're getting the feedback, your good job, if you don't get feedback commensurate with what you think is your good job, so maybe the people around you were emotionally unavailable. So even though you did your best, you never really got a strong good job. You never really got the imprinting that your job was good. So maybe you didn't receive the kind of reward that you wanted to receive, or you expected to receive, or you even thought you deserved. Some of us may have performed well and felt the accolades were not enough, which then can be interpreted by that little being as, I must not be enough to get and have what I want. And boom, right in that moment of interpretation of external experiences, a pattern, a belief, that interpretation turns into something that sticks with us. Now, not a major problem if you get over it. If you put yourself in a different groove. If you realize that's really not true, it's just an interpretation and I'm enough, I was born enough, I'll always be enough. Whether I win, lose, fail, doesn't matter. If we don't, this idea of I'm not enough, this interpretation creates a belief which gets set in us. We do more performance and maybe that same person hasn't changed, still can't give us any accolades. We get repeated experience, and the belief turns into a deep-seated vibration, a vibration in us. As an energetic being, you carry a vibration. Low vibration is going to attract its match. You can't get around it. It's universal law. Whether you like it or not, understand it or not, know it or not, even believe it or not, you are bound by more than just gravity. You are bound by other laws, physical laws and spiritual laws. Physical laws and spiritual laws. Amazing. So this idea that one of the basic human needs is to be seen, heard, and understood, to create a sense of belonging, we may do things we don't want to do. We may do things that we know don't really serve us so that we can get the pleasing. We can get that people pleasing hit, that like little bit of yummy, delicious applause, sweet applause. However, there's a dark side. This paradox that people really want to connect with authentic others. People want to be with people who are themselves, not people who are trying to be them. So in a really intense people-pleasing pattern, a person may energetically get a vibration that says, I know that I'm not enough unless you approve of me. Energetically, you're not telling them that. It just oozes out of you because of your vibration, not your words. Just the vibration of you sends a signal that I need your approval. So people really want to be with people who are willing to be themselves. Approval be damned. And yet, sometimes we are into approval. And I get it. I get it. You got to perform at your job, and you've got to prove that you're worth it, the salary increase, and you've got to prove that you deserve to get the fellowship and get into grad school, and you've got to prove that you can drive your car. And I get it. I get it. I've been in the same vortex of this paradox of fulfilling self and getting approval in order to be, do, and have that which is of most import to me. So remember the teachings, like to stop this downward spiral, to raise your vibration, and to attract what you want without having to perform for it. Did you hear me? Raising your vibration puts you on the same level with the things that you want without having to work for them as hard as you may be doing. Like getting out of struggle and striving is about getting out of your low vibration, low consciousness identity and personality. What does that mean? I don't know. Come play. The teachings, remember the teachings. Low vibration can only attract its match in people, in opportunities, in circumstances, in situations. If you look outside you and you're like, where's all this ugliness coming from? The first place to look is, what am I putting out that's attracting that back to me? How is what's out there reflecting what's going on in here? When somebody's always finding fault with me, what am I seeing about myself? As above, so below. How do we bring heaven into earth? As within, so without. How do I make sure that the heaven that I can be, that's the highest version that you are, the divinity of me speaks, has presence, has expression into my life? How do I ensure that my vibration reflects that aspect of me, not the disenfranchised parts that I don't like, that other people don't clap for? I'm still learning how to love the parts of me that no one claps for. Explore that quote related to you. Where are my disenfranchised parts? I love this quote. I'm going to close with this quote from Ram Dass and some action steps that you can take. Ram Dass, your problem is you're too busy holding on to your unworthiness. You're too busy holding on to your unworthiness. What do you feel when you think about that? What do you feel when you allow that thought deeply inside? I can tell you right now, there are parts of me, I can feel them. I've done a lot of work on reintegrating the aspects of myself that had the unlovable vibration, the aspects of myself that were, who am I to want that, to get that? It's quite possible that you're holding on to parts of you that no one claps for. And they're the very things that trigger this I'm not deserving energy in you that may be holding you back from achieving your highest potential. Maybe. So what do we do? What do we do about it? Number one, breathe. You know, I'm always going to go back to the breath because that brings your focus inside. And inside is the only place the solution lies. It's inside you. Everything you need, you came into the third dimension with. Breathe. Shut out the outside world, even only for a moment. Connect with your heart center, the seat of your soul. Connect in with your heart. Ask it to speak to you in its little tiny voice. Call it into breathing with you. Breathe into this feeling of I'm not deserving, this feeling of who am I to want that? This feeling of if they don't like me, I'm nothing. What is that? Where does that come from? So you can reverse this by becoming a passionate expresser of your own validation. Self-validation. So you breathe and then you talk to you, that little child in you that got a misinterpretation because of the things going on around them, around him, around her. When you act or speak in ways that honor you, that validate you, that say that you, even if no one else does, that you see your beauty. That time when you were dancing and trying to show that you have rhythm and everybody said, kid, you can't dance. You can go back and tell that child, you did a great job. We danced just fine. We express ourselves. We let our joy out into the world. We did a great job, even if nobody else thinks so. When you work hard on a project, when you accomplish a goal, even if nobody else says anything, you validate yourself. Then you're switching from an external locus of control, who saw me, who got it, who thinks I'm good, to an internal locus of control. Wow. Now watch what this does. So you're telling yourself you are your own best friend. You acknowledge, not to the overdeveloped version, right? Narcissism is the overdeveloped version. I'm talking about a healthy and responsible self-validity. I matter in my own life. I don't care if I don't matter in your life. I matter in mine. Healthy and responsible applause, sweet applause, comes from you, to you, for you, by you, about you. Self-mastery is knowing and putting into practice this set of beliefs. I'm responsible. I get to validate myself. And when you do that, when your locus of control turns inward, you will notice outside that your vibration is attracting the people who notice you without you even saying a word because you're walking in it. Are you feeling me? You are expressing it. It is a part of who you are authentically, not as a part of your performance art to be a personality type, to be an identity type that warrants their accolades and affection and attention and applause. Breathe. Look for ways that you are not validating you, and then flip that switch and give it to yourself. It's okay to want love. It's okay to want respect. There's nothing wrong with seeking applause. In the Living Happy to Be Me principles, it comes from here first. And then it is very, very easy for it to be expressed in the world. So reintegrate your disenfranchised aspects. So what does this mean? So remember at the beginning, I was talking about we learn at a young age to perform to get some kind of reinforcement of who we're trying to be, who we're learning to be, stepping, walking, talking, speaking, like reading, say the alphabet, tying our shoes, going potty. Like all of these things are ways that we are hooked into. Did I do it right? Did I do it right? Am I enough? Did I do it right? And when we don't get that applause, those parts of us we start to not like. Remember the quote at the beginning from Rudy Francisco. I'm still learning to love the parts of me that no one claps for. One of the stories that my mom tells about me is that as a baby, I cried incessantly. I had something to say incessantly. When I was wet, when I was dry, when I was hungry, when I was fed, it didn't matter. So much so that she went to the pediatrician that she was seeing at that time and said, I can't take it. You got to do something with this baby. Totally in love. I want to be a good mom, and I'm having trouble with that because this baby is never satisfied. That's a whole nother story, not being satisfied. And the doctor said, I don't drug my babies, so I guess I better give something to you. Something like that. So imagine that in that moment and in the moments afterwards, when my mother would tell that story, that implanted in me would be, well, I'm not really lovable because I cry all the time and I make it difficult for my mom to mother me. Like imagine. I know that I know that I know that my mom loved me dearly. And yet an interpretation of a moment in time could have set in me and then created a vibration of feeling unlovable. Again, nothing's bad or wrong here. Self-mastery is about self-discovery. Oh, I do have a tendency to want to get love by performing. And I'm noticing in some places, I'm actually doing self-sacrifice. And in some places, I'm actually doing self-sabotage to get that approval. And I think it's time for me to let that go. And so those disenfranchised parts, I encourage and invite you to reintegrate them into you so that you can be a whole person. It's not about telling the parts of us that we don't like or that nobody claps for to sit down and shut up and stay away. You're not I don't want you here. What it's about is reintegrating that part and saying, whatever happened back then, I love you. I know you've always been doing the best, and I approve of you. And I want to walk as a whole being. One way you can do that is to write a love letter to your wounded self. Let those aspects of you that you're like, there are aspects of me where I kind of go, well, that wasn't the best decision. Well, I really, really would like to have done that differently. Yeah, I wouldn't do it like that again. Like that can create in you an idea that you're not enough. And not enoughness it attracts energy like not enough. So let your aspects that maybe disenfranchise your wounded self, let them know that you're there clapping for them. For me, I have to remind myself to clap for my little girl who did some things to get approval that didn't serve us. I have to remember that, and I applaud for her and let her know, I love you. You were doing the best that you could. For the me that felt abandoned by source, really felt that God didn't love me. And I love that person, that little person who got a misinterpretation of situational dynamics and took it as a personal problem, a personal issue, a personal deficiency. The parts of me that made mistakes. And I'm like, ugh, I can't believe that I just said that. I just did that. Oh, wow. And I write a love letter to them. And I see the parts, the way that what they were experiencing actually served me at that time. So there's nothing wrong with seeking applause, sweet applause. It's a basic human need. Giving yourself what you need is called self-love. The whole idea here is that you do it. You be the approver of you. Yay. That's our Hump Day Happy Chat for today. I encourage and invite you to join the Bliss Collective to get into our next challenge. We'll be announcing it soon. If you want more information, you can PM me. I love loving on you, and I'm determined to create ways that support you to live a high vibration, happy to be me life. And I always close the Hump Day Happy Chat with the Karanaya Metta Sutta, the prayer of loving kindness from the Buddha. And I encourage you to say it as many times as you can during the day. It's very energetically, vibrationally in the high vibration zone. May all beings be peaceful. Remember, all beings always includes you. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. Your true nature is peace, love, and joy. Awaken to that. Raise your vibration by raising your consciousness, and then see what you create from the inside out. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature, and may all beings be free. Emotional freedom, not geopolitical freedom, both. Free. Many blessings. Happy, happy Hump Day. So glad you were here with me or watching the replay. Many blessings. Bye now.